I went through the entire setup of this radio, and in doing so, I came across a handful of questions that I think would be common to a typical user for this radio. So this video clip is going to answer those questions. The first one is going to be the code. It's called the FIPS code. Now, when you want to go to enter in the FIPS code for your county, it's going to offer you 6 digits to put into the radio. However, mine was only a 5-digit code. So when you go to the National Weather Service website, you not only get a list of codes for the counties, they also display them in a 6-digit code. And what they do is they actually lead with a 0. So if you have a 5-digit code and you need to enter it into this radio, which is 6 digits, all you have to do is lead with a 0 before you put in the rest of your code. The second question I had to do with the firmware version. System version. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom, go to system version. This one is version 2.2. which based on my research is the latest version as of the date of June 7th, 2013. The third question is, how do you know if the weather alerts are working on this radio? You can actually configure weekly or monthly alerts in this radio. And what they will do is each week they should send a signal to the radio as a test. So if we go down to defeat siren, it's up here, defeat siren. These are all your alerts. You get a whole list of alerts. And in the manual, they detail a whole entire page of alerts. One of these alerts is going to be weekly and monthly alerts. Here we go. Required weekly, and this one is required monthly. So this should send a signal to your radio on a weekly and a monthly basis to test the alerting. The fourth question I had was about why do they have blank alerting in here? And that's because the National Weather Service could sometimes create additional weather codes that they will list on their website. However, they will not be within this radio. So what you can actually do is you can go into defeat siren again. And if you cursor up, you'll see how this one right here is blank. You can actually enter in a 3-letter code for a new code that the National Weather Service designates, and then that, once they send a signal that is specific to that code, this radio will pick up on that signal because you have configured it to do so. One of the other things I actually found that was confusing was what alerts were actually being broadcasted from the radio towers. Because I would oftentimes find that there would be what is called a special weather statement on the National Weather Service website. And according to this radio, it has the ability to broadcast special weather statements, yet it wasn't doing so. So I later found out that these radio towers, they don't broadcast every single kind of statement or alert. These alert tones that actually make its way to this radio are only reserved for primarily warnings and watches, because they don't want to be constantly broadcasting statements and info that don't necessarily directly affect life and or property.
The top video on the right is going to be an unboxing of this radio, and if you want to see another one, there's going to be another video below that. Click on my face on the left to subscribe.